Hey, what is going on, guys? It's your boy here again, Dean, with my co-host for this set
Howdy,
review,
partner. It's
Timmy.
Timmy Two Soul. What's up?
That's right. We are reviewing Swordcraft cards for set 5, the
Swordcraft.
Omens. And I got some Subway Surfers in the background for you people who need something to look at.
I love this game.
Yeah, this is my favorite game. We be chopping down the U's, but who cares about the U's? Because we're talking about Swordcraft, and Swordcraft gets an entire new archetype, and that is the bandits or the loot. I don't know. The
We're getting Loot Sword,
yeah, we're getting loot sword,
but not the pirates, the
not
bandits.
the bandits, the Octress. So I'm gonna be starting us off. First off, huge shout out to the Shadowverse Evolve Discord community for providing us with this translation sheet so we can review the cards early.
Absolutely.
Definitely huge. You can go ahead all the way to the new stuff. I don't know if they have the Vanguard stuff, but everything pre-Vanguard. You can look at all those cards, read them ahead of time, prepare yourself. That might be very important coming with the Grand Showdown coming up in a couple months. But let's get into the set review now. Swordcraft Octress, 2 mana, 2/2, evolves for 2, or you can evolve for 1. But only
evolve for 0.
Oh, evolve for 0, but only if there are 10 or more cards in the enemy graveyard. So this card is broken into Necrocharge Abyss.
Oh no!
And this card is broken into Runecraft. But don't worry, even if you're not against those, you have Fanfare, mill the top 2 cards of the opponent's deck. And we have Activate for 8 play points. Choose a card from our enemy's graveyard, and we can change its cost to 0, and then play it. So we can steal things like D-Shift if we are against...
Oh wow!
Yeah, you can steal like any broken boss monster your opponent has. You can steal Genesis Dragon. Usually, the card you steal will cost more. Like this is very rarely going to take something like on curve.
Yeah.
But there's a nice line of text. This is like if you've ever played Magic: The Gathering. This is like that Planeswalker, the big number that's actually just meant to scare people, and you win the game if you get it. That's kind of what this is for. Most of the time, it actually makes us an insane top deck on turn 10 and later, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
But let's look at that Evolve effect. So on Evolve, we have, as long as this card's on the field, when we play a card from our EX area, if there are 10 or more cards in the enemy graveyard, we can subtract 2 from its cost. It's pretty good, especially if we've gotten Erded or we've like set up something in our EX area previously with some of these new cards. And then on Evolve, we choose a card from the enemy graveyard and we put it into our EX area. And then we can activate for 8 play points. We can choose a card from our enemy graveyard, play for 0. Okay, so maybe we don't keep RuneScape in the background. Maybe we don't keep RuneScape in the background. Okay, we'll be bank standing now. But that's okay.
Amazing.
I'm not editing that out. That's funny. I choose violence today.
Oh my gosh! I mean, you can play like you can play 2 costs from your enemy grave for free. I don't know if there are any good targets for that, but like, that's insane, right?
Yeah, you can steal a 2 cost from your opponent's grave, like Demonium.
Demonium.
Good thing. You can take cards from the Ector deck.
Yeah,
you've definitely got some options with this card. I'm gonna give this. I mean, I gave it.
Cost too.
It's got the S tier. It's the S tier. It is literally the backbone of an archetype that we are about to get, and it's a very powerful backbone to be working with.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a good card. Very good card.
Let's go to the next one. Are you ready?
Oh, Magna Legacy. Oh, a transcendent card. Fanfare. Banish the top half of your deck, rounded up. Deal 4 damage to all enemy leaders and all enemy followers. If 15 or more cards were banished by this effect, deal 8 damage instead. So the top half. So to have 15 cards banished off this, like
have a
the
30
half
card deck.
that you need like a since it's rounded up like a 29 card deck, right?
This is a Glory Finder card.
This is insane.
Or a 50 card pile.
You need to play 50 cards for this bad boy, right? Because like if you're playing 40 cards and by turn 8 you've got No, that's doable if you don't like search or draw cards.
You can win.
You can
so
play
much
this
faster
in a
with Sword.
40 card deck.
This is the shittiest card in Control Sword.
What do you mean? This card's amazing. This is an 8/8.
And it pushes 8.
And it pushes 8. This card's insane.
And you tap out. It doesn't do anything else.
What do you mean? Well, yeah, you tap out, but you've got this 8/8 on board. You just dealt.
This better kill your opponent when you play
dealt
it.
8 damage.
What do you put in the sack?
You dealt 8 damage on turn 8. Like sometimes.
It's like on par for the Storm followers. It's better Albert. Really think about it. Did you need those cards?
This is one card.
Octress counters this. She mills your opponent. She mills your deck.
No.
You play into the Sword matchup, and they mill your deck, and then you lose. Can we give this a C? We'll give this a C.
I don't know. I really like this card.
Can we give it a meme?
Definitely a meme.
M for meme. Because if I type in
card,
meme, it goes off.
I really like this card. This is a Pagoda of Piles card.
Okay, this is a Pagoda's a pile. Yeah, definitely look forward to us playing the card.
I don't know what you put this
a
in.
50 card pile.
Is Spartacus coming? Like the guy that like turns your like.
Oh, the victory card.
The victory card.
This does mill. No, that's so slow though.
What do you mean? This
is the grass. This is G for grass looks greener.
Yeah, you put that on the sheet.
Okay, well, yeah, that card's a meme.
This is a meme. This is a fun meme. Yeah, I like this card.
On to the next one. Hopefully not a meme, and that's the Apostle of Usurpation. This is a 4-mana 3/4, and we have Evolve for 1, and on play, we mill the top 2 cards of our opponent's deck, and then if they have 10 or more cards in the graveyard, we draw a card. 4-mana 3/4 to draw a card.
Oh, no.
Okay, that part so far is okay. I like that it mills your opponent's deck, can randomly hurt them, or if you're playing in Spell Boost, you lose the game on the spot. I think that's exciting. I like cards that are make your matchups like unwinnable. I like those. And then on Evolve though, we have a 4/5, and we choose a follower on our enemy field, and we deal 4 damage to it. So it's like a Dragon Warrior, but it costs 5 mana. 4 is a good number, though. For 5, is that good enough? That's the question.
Okay, so what I think about this card is I'm going to have a deck. I'm going to have a Necrocharge Abyss deck that doesn't play Spatori Soldier or Seeking the Pearl. And I'm just going to have that in my holster. Then when I hear when I hear this one player at Locals, when he's like, oh, I brought this sword pile, I'm ready to win. I bought this funny sword pile with this alternate win condition of milling your deck. I'm pulling out this Abyss deck with no Spatori Soldiers and no Seeking the Pearls. My opponent's gonna play them for me, and I'm gonna get Necrocharge 10 and get my effects. They're gonna get their effects. We're both gonna have a great time.
I mean, that was kind of Kit's deck at the regional, but
this card.
This is
I mean. What was the mill 10 effect again? Like
the mill 10 is we get to evolve for 0. And then we also get some other effects on other cards that we're going to be reading later. But
deal 4 to a card.
More of the idea is that like we get to load up our opponent's grave to steal good cards with Octress. And I mean, if you're in archetype, it's a card. I think I'm going to give this thing like a C. It's not very good.
This card is inoffensive.
It draws. It's got removal. It's got 5 health. Cassiopeia stats.
It literally, yeah.
I think that Sword...
it's evolved, so it's Rush.
I think that Sword doesn't have a lot of good removal like this. Like the ping, like something. It draws... I don't know if... Does Sword need that much draw? Sword is actually lacking draw. I'm going to give this thing actually a B. Because I think Sword is lacking draw, and this archetype being able to... I know this is like a very aggressive archetype, and being able to cantrip while also removing a body. We know from like Mock Knight Raw, if you ever played Heroic Sword, sometimes that's like a pretty damn good play. And this has got a bigger health pool than Mock Knight. So I think this card's pretty decent-ish. Right. I don't think it's great by itself, but it's all part of the package, and that's what makes it okay.
It's all right.
But on to the next one.
I'm not offended. All right. Imperial Swordsman. Commander, because Sword has to split their archetypes. At the start of your end phase, chew a follower from enemy field. Deal 4 damage to it. Deal 2 damage to its leader. The reverse of Cassiopeia stats. At the start of your end phase, man, it gets rid of it gets rid of this card off your opponent's field. It gets rid of your opponent's Imperial Swordsman.
It's definitely broken in the mirror. What are you giving this?
What am I giving this?
Yeah, let's hear your rating for this card. I know what I would give it. You want me to rate it?
It does 2
It's
damage phase. It's not very good, but is it? It's not very good, right? I mean, it's control, but it's not very good control. It's got 5 attack though, but only for 5. It's Swordcraft, right?
Yeah. What are you thinking?
I'm not offended, but I would. This isn't my first choice for a card in the deck.
I-
But is it a command? Does commander mean anything?
Let me help you. I'll put the score on the screen. What I think it gets. I think it gets an F. This card is ass. You will never put this card in sleeves. And if I am wrong, which I will be, I will go to the Grand Showdown. Someone will have this in their deck, and they'll say it was good in X matchup, and I will lose to it. But I believe this card is nearly unplayable.
Probably D for draft.
It's a gold. This thing is a gold. This is wasting your gold slot with another turbo ass card.
What do you mean gold slot? You don't pick those slots.
You know, maybe you want your golds to be playable. I don't think this is very
I would
playable.
prefer my cards to be playable.
This one doesn't replay.
Yeah, I don't know.
This card is bad.
I'm not a Swordcraft player. Whatever these cards are.
I don't think you'd sleeve that in any craft in today's.
Is this an officer spell? How does that work?
Oh, it means it can't be reduced with Gawain. Most of the spells are actually officers, which is a huge problem.
Think
Gawain.
about like an officer spell.
There's a lot of those.
Is that
they
like,
all are.
Is that like an action an officer takes, like flavor wise?
It's just so they don't work with other cards. It's solely so they don't work with other cards.
Well, why are they even traded?
Because Gawain says that a commander card costs less, and so we have the Suzaku card, and you can use Gawain and then play the Suzaku card for 2 mana.
So the Suzaku card is a commander spell.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the other ones are off trade, so they don't work. But it's like their thing is having traded cards that don't matter so far. It's very exciting.
Swordcraft is cool.
We have Confront Adversity, 2 mana spell. We put a Shield Guardian and a Knight into the field. If there's a follower with original cost of 6 or higher on the enemy board, we get +3/+3 to both Shield Guardian and the Knight, and we get 2 mana back. So for 0 mana, if our opponent has a 6-drop, we get what is that?
If your opponent
7,
has
8 worth of that's 8 worth of stats.
Your opponent dropped an elephant last turn, you get an 8/8.
Card's kind of insane. You get 2 mana for a 2/2 across 2 bodies. That's ass. That's really bad. However, 0 mana, your opponent is just like they play down card, they put down card, and you go, you fool! I cannot believe you would put down card on my board. And then you play this. Ultimately, I think this card is unplayable on 2 and is only playable once your opponent promotes the 6-drop card, which is.
You think that's unplayable on 2? Is Shield Guardian the?
It's a 1/1 with Ward.
I thought that's a 1/2 with Ward, or is that digital?
It never had. It was always a 1/1. It was always
Shield
a 1/1.
Guardian.
Shield Guardian was always a 1/1 with Ward. And I imagine if we go,
you get 2 1/1s.
Yeah, you get like 2 1/1s for 2, and then when you get 2 4/4s,
yeah, that's not
for 0, I like that, but it requires your opponent to be playing like dragon specifically.
No, it says 6 play points. Your opponent could be playing forest.
Yeah, but they have to have put down a card with that much mana, right? Like,
yeah, there's a very relevant.
There is a relevant one, but there's like a lot of cards that don't, and there's a lot of classes that don't. There's a lot of classes that this card literally won't work against. So I'm gonna give this a C. It's funny. It's situational. Like when it's good, it's really good. 0 mana for 8/8.
I mean, your opponent puts down Dark Alice. This is free. I mean, like there's more than one class. It's not dragon.
You find a way to get to your EX area. You have Octress. Now you have a 0 mana get 2
I
back.
have a -2 mana.
You get like this is like a Portalcraft card.
Because yeah, well that's like -2 because Octrus already makes it cost 0,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
This is a funny Glory Finder card, but I think in actual constructed, this is not the best. So I'm just gonna give it a C for now. It's it will randomly destroy some like other decks.
Yeah, like me.
Yeah, like if you're out there playing Dragon and your opponent is like Timmy's gonna be putting this in his deck.
Look out, kids.
And yeah, it's gonna be absolutely destroying you. So
good luck. You put Dark Alice on board, you buffoon.
that's basically what happens. On to the next one.
Play 3 of those bad boys. The knight doesn't. The 6th knight doesn't hit board.
Sad.
We'll miss him.
Next one's you.
All right, 3 mana. Disciple of Usurpation. A bandit. Storm. That's the best effect in the game. Strike. The second best effect in the game. Put the top card of enemy deck to graveyard. Then, if there are 10 or more cards in enemy grave, this gets +2/+0. Ooh, oh, you're playing against Abyss. This is a 5/2 Storm for 3. This card's busted.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this an S.
This card's an S.
This is an S.
You're playing against either your late game against like, you know, a normal deck, you know, you're playing against Swordcraft, you're playing against Forestcraft, you're playing against Havencraft, like, I don't know. I mean, what's his face? My favorite Haven cards puts cards in grave. Skull Fame does, but man, this card's busted.
I like
it's 3/2 with Storm at the worst. At best, it's a 5/2 with Storm for 3. That's insane.
I like this card. The idea is like, you know, have you ever played Winning Ticket in Uma? You know that card?
No.
It's the Uma card in like we have the card on the ban list. It's like if you have the 1 mana spell that's restricted and the 2 mana card in the grave, it's a 5/3 Storm for 3, and that alone was like very powerful already. Being able to push 5 mana for like, you know, very low, or 5 damage for very low mana cost.
Yeah.
And now this is just like more Storm followers. So you could probably make like a deck that hits your opponent 4 times and they die from full health. So this card is...
I would say the worst part about this card is it has 2 health, and if your opponent is playing like Uma, if they're playing Uma
Uma's dead. Uma's dead. That horse got put out.
If they're playing Runecraft, this card gets answered by Uma cards.
Yeah, I think this card is...
But, ooh, man, this card is good.
Definitely, this is part of the like aggression, like I said, of the Usurpation deck. You're going to be able to go like extremely fast.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also, you know, be setting yourself up. And it also, like, I think some of the matchups are funny. Like if you fight against Necrocharge Abyss.
Oh, absolutely.
Or if you fight against Rune. I mean, Rune's probably beating you because like they have like infinite quick, so your card's going to die.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
or it's going to be in your hand.
You still have a lot of speed, so who knows? No, you probably lose that one actually.
Yeah.
Whoa, what did I do?
What are you doing?
No,
oh,
it's okay. It's salvageable. Spoilers. There we go. Next card, we have the Fervent Machine Soldier. This is an officer, 3 mana, 3/4. Fanfare, discard a commander card, search for a commander card from our deck, and put it into our hand.
Search half of all 4 like Swordcraft cards.
This seems like a decent mid-range card. I'm already gonna just give this a B. It's a better gem staff. Well, it's not a better gem staff, is it? Do you even want this? Is this a C? Is this a D?
What's gem staff stats? Like 3/3?
Gem staff is a 3/2.
3/2
for This has like far better stats.
Wait a minute.
But this does not plus. This merely filters. And so like the idea is that you have to have something in your hand that you don't want, which means you have like multiple copies of it, because usually you don't have a commander that you don't want. At least you usually don't build your deck in a way that this card is going to do a lot for you. It can search cards like Leonidas.
Yeah.
It can search cards like
This is not a D for draft.
No, I think it is because like what are you
this is a
searching?
D for D.
Yeah, this is a D for D because this card is not very good. I'd much rather just have a search, even on a shittier body. I think I'd rather have a search.
Yeah,
because you have to have. The problem is you have to have multiple copies of a card. That's like you usually don't put bad cards in your deck. And even if you do, I can't imagine like wanting to get rid. Like I don't know what you would want to get rid of. I can't imagine something I put in my deck that I'm just like I want to get rid of this. Unless the second Leonidas.
I mean like 4 is a big number, but I don't imagine playing this over Gemstaff. It's just it's you have to filter and it's more specific. Maybe I don't know the traits of the hero cards, but maybe you put this in Hero Sword so you keep a low hand count for
that
Lancer.
sounds horrendous.
Well, Hero Sword is horrendous.
It can. Ooh, you can discard your Perseus to go search your Valiant Fencer. No, he's an officer. Is he?
I don't know.
He's a commander.
Is he a commander?
He's a commander. The guy who Evos is.
What are these silly traits? Why did they do
He's
this?
never. This man has never read Swordcraft cards. Anyway,
I played Pirate Sword, so I have read Swordcraft cards.
Anyway, on to the next
I know
one.
what Barbarossa does, and that's about it. This is my favorite card. Wait, we're getting machine cards. Does that mean we're close to Machina cards?
In like 2 boosters, 3 boosters.
Man, can't
it's after
wait.
Idolmaster.
Machine Artisan Geno, Commander, because that's relevant to the last card. When you play an amulet, choose a follower from your field. It gets +0/+1, so it gets a defense. Does it evolve?
It evolves for 1. We were not given that on the cheat. It's okay though.
No, this community does enough. They didn't need this random silver. Let's see. Evolve for 1. When you play an amulet, choose a follower from your field that gets a defense. Yeah. You know the persistent from the last. Let's see here. Evolve. Search for an amulet from your deck. Put it in hand. What are you searching in Sword? Are you searching for like Banner from set 1?
You're searching.
Like what's in Sword?
You are searching for Path to Purgatory.
That card's...
Okay, I'm gonna give this an F. To save us some time. This card is ass. I cannot imagine.
Search for a card that says -3.
Yeah, I can't imagine putting this in your deck.
Wow.
I don't know what we have.
What is in Sword? What name an amulet in Sword that's not Banner? That's not a token either, right? Because you can't search for Leonidas, token.
An amulet? I mean, like
amulet.
It's
like
whatever.
what
We can do Knight's Way. We have a searcher for Knight's Way.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, that's what Swordcraft was missing.
That's what Swordcraft was missing.
Swordcraft was missing Knight's Way.
Oh, my broken card.
What is that?
My Staircase to Paradise. Yeah, we get.
You can play that, and then you can give a card a defense.
No, yeah, you can play Staircase to Paradise.
It doesn't say other follower from your field, so you can. So he's a 3/4 when you play Staircase.
Yeah.
Wait, he evolves for 1. How much does he cost?
It was like too much. I mean, if it cost 1,
it was too much. What do you mean?
It was 1. He's a 2 mana.
2 mana.
On turn 3 with an evil orb, we can develop our Staircase. This is what mid-range Sword needed, was the consistency to search the Staircase.
Absolutely.
This changes everything.
This card sucks.
This changes everything.
Wow.
What are you talking about?
Ooh.
But what if it did change everything?
What
if I sleeve this?
If you sleeve this is a 3/4 when you play Staircase, because it doesn't say.
With 3 of these and 3 Staircases, I can have. I can board lock myself.
You can put those on board.
I can board lock myself.
Because you can. But that's 3 though. Imagine like.
What other broken amulets do we have?
You can say board lock.
Take a jab. Take a jab.
What's that card?
You roll a die.
Okay, please,
you roll the die. If you roll like a 1, you take 5 damage.
What? Oh, I'm reading this card. Give me a second.
It's an Uma card.
It's
It's an Uma card, but it doesn't have Uma trait. If you roll a 1, you take 5. If you roll a 2 through 5, you draw a card, and if you roll a 6, you heal 3, and then your amulet dies.
You say it's an amulet?
Yeah, it's not Uma trait though. It's a neutral card.
Ooh, Arthurian Light. Castle in the Sky? You could search Castle in the Sky.
Ooh, it searches a storm follower.
Royal
There's
Banner.
entire 3 targets for this card. Is
wait,
ass.
what do you mean Uma card? I don't see it in the search.
Yeah, it's neutral.
It's neutral? Oh, I have to search neutral cards?
It's okay. It's okay. This card is not good.
I have to read this card.
Let's not waste our time.
No.
On to the next card. Let's actually read a good card. The Servant of Usurpation. That's right. We have the 1 mana 1/2. During your turn, when a card from the enemy deck is being put into their graveyard, this card gets +1/+0. That's infinite times a turn. That is not a once per turn effect, so we're able to definitely get this guy up in stats. And then Fanfare, we mill the top card of the enemy deck. So we have a 2/2 on play. And as time goes on, maybe if we curve out on 2 and Octress, this could be a 3/2 already hitting our opponent, or possibly another one of these. This card is straight up S tier. I'm sorry, this card is insane.
Top card of the year. Okay. This card's pretty good.
This card is S tier.
Yeah, well, what I really like about this card is a lot of like goblins. If you draw a goblin on turn 5, you're kicking yourself for putting it in your deck. This guy stays relevant throughout the game in this
and he's always more than just a 2/2. He's always
absolutely.
more.
Yeah, he like turn 1 he's a 2/2, and then like he stays on board. Turn 2 he's now like a 3/2, right?
Yeah. So
turn
he's able
4,
to definitely
he could be a
pressure
4/2. Yeah, like this is a good card. This is a really good card.
Definitely a solid card for the aggressive loot deck. But
loot deck.
Here's some
I've
cards.
Seen
this guy
0
looks
loot
ass.
cards. Let's see here. Captain Mateo. Let's see. Evolves for 1. Choose an enemy leader. Deal 4 damage to it. I like that. This is a D for draft card so far. Choose a follower from the enemy field and destroy it. So
that's 9 mana to kill a card and deal 4 damage.
This is a D for draft card.
I'm gonna give it a D for draft.
This is a D for draft. You play this in draft. It's got big stats.
Big stats.
Answers a card. You may not get to play it because it's turn 9. I mean, turn 8, deal 4. Like leaving an 8/8 on board. Like draft kind of is like whack. So
this isn't even good in Glory Finder. Glory Finder has like insane cards that like hit everyone.
This card is D for maybe draft. I don't know. It's a bronze, so you'll have 2 of it.
If you put this in your open 8 deck, you probably don't feel bad. If you see like more than 1 of it, you probably only put 1 of it in your deck.
It's a bronze. You don't feel bad about open 8. This card sucks.
It's kind of awful. But hopefully this next one is good. The Gravi Kinetic Warrior, and I could be wrong. 4 mana for 4. Fanfare, choose a token on your board and give it +2. Holy shit, that is awful. Next card.
You're playing Swordcraft.
No, it combos with the 2 mana spell, and then you get the 6/6 and the 4/4.
It's turn 6. You just took 8 damage from
Floral Fencer Evo going second, and then you play down this, and then you smack them for 3. It's kind of like White General, but like without the rush. This card is horrendously bad. On to the next one.
It's a bronze.
I don't even think you draft this card.
It's a bronze.
You don't even put this in your draft deck, dude.
Depends. Most likely not. It's still a 4-drop 4/4. Anyway, Usurping Spine Blade. Is this like Zabimaru from Bleach?
Yeah, I think so.
That's cool. Quick. That's a good effect. Choose a follower from your enemy field. Deal 3 damage to it. Finally, Swordcraft gets one of these. Put the top card of your enemy deck in the graveyard. What? There are 10 or more cards, enemy grave, deal another 2 damage. So wait, this could be deal 5?
Yeah, and we mill
Wait, what? Oh my gosh. It's about time Swordcraft got a quick that wasn't like deal damage equal to the amount of cards on board.
Sword already has one.
Which one?
But it puts a knight into your EX area.
Which one?
There's like a one that puts a knight into your EX area. It's terrible.
2-drop deal 3?
I think so.
Are you sure?
I think so.
I don't believe you. But also 2-drop deal 5.
Yeah,
that's busted.
2-drop deal 5 is definitely good.
That's
especially
good.
like we're able to clear some of
Quick?
the annoying things that our opponent has. We're able to mill. Like sometimes if you put down the 1-drop guy, right, we're able to play this as removal on our turn, and then he gets a little bit bigger, and then we're able to, like, push more face damage, and we're accelerating our game plan. Effectively put 2 cards into our opponent's grave because we killed something.
Absolutely.
So
this card's insane.
I like this card. I'm giving this thing a
S.
I think A. It's like,
what do you mean?
You're right.
This is a quick that does 5.
True. It does. It's really good. It's really good, actually.
This card's insane. I like quicks.
I like quicks.
I like trap.
I think 5 is good. 5 is able to kill most of our threats.
5 kills Cassiopeia stats.
It does. That was last booster. And on to the next spell that we get in Sword. Let's get this away.
Serpentine Blade.
Yeah, we got the Serpentine Blade, Avarita or whatever. Whatever. 1 mana. So we top check 4, and we can put a Bandit card to our hand, and the rest on the bottom. And if we add an Octress, we get this back. So we can, like, top check 4. If we're lucky, we get to top check 4 again later for, like, basically free, basically going plus.
Oh, if you revealed, you didn't even need to take the card?
Yeah, I think this is, like, near S tier.
Wow.
This is, I like cards that increase the consistency, low mana cost, so it's easy to weave in, and then sometimes we're able to preserve it.
And the Bandit cards aren't bad.
Guess. And the Bandit cards are all
Does it say card or follower? Card?
Card.
Oh.
So we can add that removal spell as well. All in all, this is definitely a super solid card. And, yeah, so that's the end.
That's a good card.
Wait,
Swordcraft got good cards?
Yeah, Swordcraft got good cards.
No way.
They've been getting good cards, somewhat, if you play mid-range. Yeah, definitely exciting to be playing Sword next set. And,
this is the first time I've read Swordcraft cards. I'm kind of scared of my locals opponents now. Because they've been reading Swordcraft cards for like 4 sets now.
Yeah, that's right. Exciting times.
It's as wild.
So
suddenly there's a new class in the game.
Sorry, we haven't been big fans of Hero Sword, but I've been playing mid range.
It had a deck, yeah.
It did. It had multiple decks, but that's okay. Yeah, hopefully you guys like that. Next up, we're gonna be having Runecraft tomorrow. Hit that like button, hit that subscription and that notification to get those Runecraft cards ahead of time. And stay on top of your locals. That's right.
Tune in next week, Wizards.
And until next time, this is Dean and Timmy.
Timmy Two Soul
signing out.